the truest part of me. And it's here, in this place, I can see it on each day. It's here, where we are, I can feel it in my heart. Something wonderful happening here today. Something wonderful happening here today. It's real, yes it's true. It's that spirit shining through. Oh yes, something wonderful happening here today.
That is the way I like it. How about you? Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Susan Cullen, and I'm part of the spiritual leadership team here at Unity of Calgary. And I'm delighted that you are joining us from wherever you are in the world. And I hope that where you are is as beautiful as where I am this morning. If you are brand new to Unity, a very warm welcome. The most important thing you need to know is that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are always welcome here at Unity of Calgary. So let's begin by bringing ourselves present and going within with an affirmative prayer. I invite you to gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And as you let it go, bring yourself present to this very moment. And remember that in this moment, in every moment, that you have the choice. You have the choice to stand in love or to stand in fear. By standing in love, you connect to the divine part of yourself. You strengthen your immune system. You enhance your critical thinking abilities. And you are able to expand your perception. And while this opportunity is always available for us in each and every moment, know also that we will come up short. We will feel some fear. We will experience some troubles. And when we do, we just need to bring ourselves back to that place of love and coherence and wisdom, and remember the truth of who we are. And so it is. So we gather at Unity of Calgary at the moment online and hopefully soon in person. And the statement of why we do that is captured by our statement of being. And I invite you to affirm it with me together. We are here as love to celebrate the one power, the one presence in our lives, in this community, and in the universe. And our daily word reader this morning is going to be me. So here we go. Here's the daily word for Sunday, June 14th. Divine order. Well, isn't that a good daily word for today? Divine order is always unfolding in my life and in the world. And isn't that the truth? As spring ripens into summer each year, new leaves transform bare trees into canopies of green. Tiny seedlings grow into sturdy plants and decorate the landscape with an array of colorful blossoms. I marvel at the divine order demonstrated as the earth renews itself. I recognize that, even as the earth appeared barren in wintertime, new life was preparing to spring forth. I notice this pattern in my life. I may be demonstrating visible growth in my life, or, like earth in winter, it may seem that my life is stagnant and barren. I remember that as the seasons of nature change, so do the seasons of my life. Even when it is not apparent to me, I know that divine order is always unfolding in my life and in the world. The earth produces of itself first the stalk, then the head, then the full grain in the head. Mark 4:28. Well, isn't that a good, well, I don't know about you, but that's a really good message for me today. As we're having a few technical difficulties, I think hopefully we've got everything worked out now. And I guess that means that all is in divine order, and how this moment and this day unfolds is exactly that, in divine order. So Unity of Calgary is part of a worldwide movement, and I invite you to affirm our mission with me. We envision a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Sorry, I misspoke there. That is indeed our vision. And how we do that here at Unity of Calgary is captured by our mission statement. We are a welcoming, vibrant, spiritual community. Oops, there we go. We are a welcoming, vibrant, spiritual community that inspires hearts and transforms lives by expressing our divine essence. And with all of the extra strife and difficulty and frustration and rage and anger of what's going on around the world, with all of everything that's beginning to, or that is transpiring, not beginning to transpire, but that is transpiring and transforming our lives, I would like to read to you the Unity Prayer for the Wounded Heart of Humanity. So I invite you to close your eyes and just let these words wash over you. We call upon God's love in this important moment, knowing that divine love is the greatest power in the universe. We pray for the wounded heart of humanity as we grieve, rage, cry, and despair over injustice and inequity. May divine love enfold and comfort everyone who is hurting. May divine wisdom guide each person and institution in taking inspired action to ensure that all are celebrated for their inherent goodness as a part of God's creation. May we remain resolute in walking the course of human rights and social justice for all. We pray in the spirit of unity, love, and oneness. Amen. So the mission that we have is how we bring our vision to life, and indeed how we bring that prayer for the wounded heart of humanity to life. And so here are a few things that are happening, coming up at Unity of Calgary. Our speaker next week for Father's Day is Neil Thrussell, and the name of his talk is Old Man, Look at My Life. I'm a Lot Like You Were. So that's very exciting. I'm excited to hear and what the wisdom, the amazing, beautiful wisdom that Neil always shares. Today, after our Sunday gathering, we are having our coffee chat on Zoom. The links are in the newsletter and on the website. And so what you do is, if you're going to the website, you can click on the events tab and then look for the date for today, and the coffee chat link will be in the calendar. We are getting ready to move into our new home. Again, you know, all the information seems to be changing daily about what's possible, what's not possible, what the government guidelines are, and so we're working through that. So stay tuned. If you are interested in helping us with the move, we would love it if you would contact Claude Pellerin, who is, of course, our president of the board of directors, and his number is there on the screen, and you can give him a call and just ask him how you can help, in what way. We are, over this month of June, beginning to move all of our items out of storage and into our new space. And when we are able to have our first gathering in the new space, we will certainly let you know as soon as possible. So stay tuned for that, and if you can help, that would be fantastic. And how to stay connected to us. We have our website, which is a wonderful wealth of information. Highly recommend that you go there on a regular basis to see what's there. We have our Facebook page and our Facebook community group. So if you're wanting to connect and talk with your Facebook peeps, that's a great way to do that, is in the community group. And that's where we have our discussions. And of course, Also, a wonderful way to keep up to date on all the information that you need to know is with our newsletter. So I invite you to make sure that you are signed up for that. There's not only information about what's coming up, but also inspiration to keep you going through these challenging, difficult times. So we look forward to seeing you again in person, and before then, we'll see you on Zoom right after this. Okay, enough of my chatter. Let's get inspired and listen to the music of Anthony Burbidge and the Unity Band.
On my own, I am only one. With your voice, I can do much more. I let go when I'm not alone. You hear and lead me home. Sing through me. Sing through
All right. Thank you so much, Anthony and the Unity Band. Can't wait till we can hear you live and in person once again. So our speaker today is a regular and no stranger to Unity of Calgary. Reverend Doug Craig, of course, has been a regular speaker for many, many years at Unity of Calgary, and we just so love and appreciate the wisdom and the guidance and the embodiment of what he speaks of, which he really does walk his talk. He doesn't just talk it, he walks it and he lives it. And that's why his message is always so powerful. Today, the title of his talk is I Am Whole, Perfect, and Complete at All Times and in All Ways. So please help me welcome Reverend Doug Craig.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I can't hear you, but I figure you are. And you get a little view in the background there. I got my lovely Anna and our dog Duke sitting there taking in the Sunday service with us. Well, my topic today, and we'll probably finish this off with a little bit of a meditation, but I want to get right into it because the topic is I am whole, perfect, and complete at all times and all ways. And of course, the theme for June is well being. My heart knows well being no matter the circumstance. So, what I thought I would do is I would approach this quite a bit different than most of them, the talks I do. And again, as I said, I will finish off after I complete this with a little meditation so that we can integrate everything. And the reason I'm going to do this differently is I thought I'd just do a series of questions for one to contemplate and look at. Because really, these questions will really let you know whether you're in that state of consciousness to allow that natural well being that's already there to come out into our experience called life. Then that way, we're in control of the world around us. Well, maybe not the world around us, but we're in control of how we experience the world around us. And we can approach everything being calm, centered, peaceful, and poised. And as we do that, what seeps out of us naturally is our well being. So, questions. I've got a few here, and I'm going to start with the first one. And the first one is how do I start my day? And that's the question that we want to ask ourselves. So just imagine yourself getting up in the morning and rushing into the washroom and turning on the light and looking at that beautiful, radiant face that has got all the potential in the world to take that beautiful form out into the world around us and have an abundance of interesting and life giving experiences. So, how do we start the day? Good morning, God. And that gets us off to the right foot. Generally, though, do you start it that way or do you look in that mirror and go, good God, morning? So we always do that. It's either good morning, God, or good God morning. And that really sets the tone. Now, we may not use those exact words, and we don't have to. However, it's just our overall intention and our overall aura of the thoughts that we have about starting this new wonderful day that we haven't got much invested into, but we will by the end of it. So, that's a good way to give yourself a little question and a little checkup from the neck up, because that's what we need to do every day and all day long. That old checkup from the neck up. Lots of my students at SAIT, went over my 32-year career there, heard that quite often. You got to give yourself a checkup from the neck up and get rid of your stinking thinking. So, another question. In your day, ask yourself, do I suffer from destination addiction? You probably haven't heard of that one, have you? Well, destination addiction is a real addiction, and a lot of people live their life in this destination addiction. A gentleman by the name of Robert Holden said, beware of destination addiction. It's a preoccupation with the idea that happiness is in the next place, the next job, and the next partner with the next partner. And he goes on to say, until you give up the idea that happiness is someplace else, then it will never be where you are. Because you see, the only place one can have happiness is wherever one is. And oh yes, we could go to a new job and we could go to a new destination or a new place, and we could go to the next partner, and we could do it always believing that the grass is greener on the other side. And so we do that, and everything's nice and new and exciting. And then after a while, we get through the honeymoon period, and guess what? It's the same old, same old. And guess what? We showed up for the experience. So it's whoever shows up for the experience is going to determine the way they have it. And it's not about later, it's about now. Okay? It's always about now. So ask oneself, do I suffer from destination addiction? Am I looking for something outside of myself to make me happy? You might say, well, if I won a new car in a raffle, I'd be happy. Yeah, sure. But it's not the new car that's making you happy. It's you choosing to be happy because you want a new car. But it's a terrible state of mind waiting around for good things to happen in order to be happy. We got to start each day and try to be happy where we're at with what we are and what we can do right here and right now. So there you are, destination addiction. Question. When fear knocks in my life, who answers my door? I come across that expression in the strangest place over the COVID thing, with us all boxed in. Ann and I found a program that had been on 6 years, and we watched every one of them, and that was The Sopranos. And lo and behold, I found some wisdom in a couple of quotes that were made there. And one of them was one of the gentlemen who was going through his addiction recovery said that when fear knocks and faith answers the door. So that's really the question one has to ask themselves during this journey we call life, because everybody has fear creep into you. That's a natural part of the experience. So when fear knocks at our door, who answers? Does faith answer? And you might be saying, well, that's easy to say, but you don't know the circumstance or situation. Folks, it is easy to say. And B, it doesn't matter what the circumstance or situation is. If we approach it and walk with the faith of God instead of the faith in God, then we will be able to weather the storm that brings the fear and move and navigate our way through it to the best of our abilities. So easy to give over to the fear and let faith go out the window. And I did say having the faith of God versus having a faith in God. The disciples were very impressed with the healing that Jesus was done, and asked him one day, why can't we do this? We have a faith in God. Basically, Jesus responded, that's it. You have a faith in God. You need to have the faith of God. What's the difference? Living in a world where you have the faith of God is practicing having no influence take over control of you in the circumstances or situations around you, and staying in that light and knowing that the Spirit will guide you, lead you, and direct you through what it is that you are experiencing. And, that's one of the differences between Jesus and his disciples that we can very well apply to our day-to-day practice now, and it is very important. And then another one that I try to follow that I think Jesus taught us, and this raises a lot of hairs when I get the first part of the quote, but not the second. I always say that Jesus didn't practice what he preached. What Jesus did is he preached what he practiced. And, years ago, I tried to model everything I do with my teaching and speaking after that
I am enough.
sorry, folks. Don't know what happened there, but my internet crashed, which happens occasionally. I'd like to, me too, Susan. And what I'd like to do is just continue off. I got a couple of more questions to ask. So one of the things is, well, in this get fixed quick society, the key people say is, well, is there any pill I can take or anything that I could take to fix this? So anything I could take, something made by man like a pill. And of course, the answer to that question is there is no chemical solution to a spiritual problem, because the problem isn't out there. The problem is spiritual. It's getting away from the idea that we are whole, perfect, and complete at all times in all ways, and allow the negativity to seep in and think that we could take something outside to stop that, make everything okay. So there is no chemical solution to a spiritual problem. Now, Susan alluded to the difficulties of the time today, and I was watching some of this stuff on the media, the mainstream media, as opposed to other stuff that people were showing on Facebook, and it was just, I found it very disturbing how all the media gave all the attention to all the looting and rioting and violence, but not to the peaceful things and the great things people were doing. There's some wonderful things people did to support each other during this, but we don't hear about that. So what I want each of us to do, because we get bombarded by the media and all kinds of things out of ourselves, is, am I influenced by mob mentality? And mob mentality is real easy, because all you got to do is have a couple of people, and they can get a whole lot of really nice people caught up in the moment and get into doing some things that they regret. And I'll bet you there's a lot of people regret some of the things that they did. But it's that mob mentality. And this, folks, is not a new thing. I mean, back in the Wild West, you get a couple of people get upset about somebody they got in jail, get the crowd whipped up in the bar, just add liquor, take another bottle of stupid and drink it, and then we'll get the crowd going, and they're down there and they lynch a guy. All these innocent people. Mob mentality. And, it doesn't have to be that drastic on the outside. It's just buying into an idea about what's happening, about all the negativity. Yes, it's happening. Yes, we got to stop it. Yes, we got to be aware of it. But let's start to focus in on some of the peace and love and give our energy and attention to the positive good things that our people are doing. And let's just delve into that and be part of that and watch about that mob mentality. And the last question to ask ourselves is, do I react to or do I act upon? So reaction always comes from a place of powerlessness, because we react to and act upon that, and then we're coming from a position of pain. However, if we stay calm, centered, peaceful, and poised, and state of well-being, and that comes out, and we act upon life from there, then we coming from a position of power. So we need to ask ourselves is, am I coming from a position of power, or am I coming from a position of pain in any circumstance or any situation on this journey I call love and life? And so that's in our domain. We have the power to choose. That's what Susan was talking about when we started. I choose. And I choose, as Jesus said, choose this day whom ye shall serve. Do you serve God or mammon? Mammon being the physical. So do you take the spiritual road or do you take the physical road? Either way, you're going to have an experience. The spiritual way sees us to the light. It sees us and guides us through the experience, whereas when we get trapped up in the physical aspect of it, that's where we can be influenced, and that's where all this stuff like the mob mentality, or give me a pill to fix it, or I'm afraid and allow the fear to control us, or oh, I'll be happy when, or gee, that's another rotten day, but at least the good thing is I'm above the turf. Well, you know. And so it's all about attitude and what type of attitude we tend to serve. And just think of it as a tennis game. If you serve a negative ball, what do you think's going to come back? The other guy's going to hit back what you serve. And that's like life. If you serve that out there, it's coming back. The only difference is it's going to come back all right, but you just don't know where. And you know, we have a law called that. It's called the law of karma. That's sowing and reaping. What you sow, you reap. And Oprah says, yeah, a lot of people get wrapped up in this and think they can move away or get a different place. And they don't realize that karma knows your address. And then again, too, coming back to that with one last idea about, you know, that the grass is greener on the other side. You've heard that? I'm going to tell you why it's true. That's because they water it. So the grass is greener on the other side. So just remember that as we go forward, that this journey, that my well-being is a natural state of who and what I am. And my heart, that inner self, that inner part of me, knows well-being and is centered in well-being, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the situations. It's just that we choose this day who and what we're going to serve. That's in our domain. That's what we have to work with. And so I leave you with this one idea and ask you to think about it, embody it, accept it, and be it. For I know, as you know, that I am whole, perfect, and complete at all times and in all ways. So as we speak it, we give thanks for it, we know it to be so, and so it is. And there you go. So I'll just ask Anthony to lead us into a meditation.
I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. And there is nothing that I need to say. There is nothing that I need to change. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. And there is nothing that I need to do. There is nothing that I need to prove. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am.
I am enough, just as I am. I am whole, perfect, and complete at all times and in all ways. I know that the divine healing presence of good and God is in me, expresses through me, by means of me in my own unique and special way. I hold and support myself in a vision of love, life, and light, and know that I experience perfect circulation, assimilation, and elimination in all of my bodily functions, in all of my physical affairs. So I know that the circle is complete. So I take a moment of precious silence to know that I am this wholeness and I am this perfection and I am an intricate part of this experience called life. So I bask in the love and light of the Spirit. I clearly see the vision of light surrounding me, and I hold this vision knowing that it is a bright Christ light, and only goodness is attracted to me. And I know that I am whole, perfect, and complete at all times and all ways. And so it is. And Anthony?
I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. There is nothing that I need to say. There is nothing that I need to change. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. There is nothing that I need to do. There is
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Reverend Doug Craig. I made a few notes of my own from your talk. And the question I have is, how can we create that mob mentality around love and kindness and generosity? I don't know. There's got to be a way to do it. Maybe we can put our heads together and figure that one out. That's what I would love to do, is create that that mob mentality where everybody is just so kind and loving and understanding. And wouldn't that be great if we could do that? And I love what you said about the grass being greener on the other side. And what I've heard, which is also related to that, is perhaps sometimes the grass is greener because it's fake grass. So I think the lesson is we need to worry about our own grass and growing our own grass and making it as green as possible. So thank you so much for that. And Anthony and the band, yeah, I love that, and love that song. Yeah, and soon in person, soon, soon, soon. I have to keep telling myself that. All right, and now we enter the time of conscious giving. Together, using our time, our talent, and our treasure, we create this wonderful spiritual community that sustains and inspires us. And I have to tell you, if you're just sitting back in your living room and watching this on YouTube or Facebook, you have no idea how much work goes into creating this each week. And not only online here, but also when we meet in person. And although we're not currently meeting in person, we've chosen as a community to continue offering our Sunday morning gathering and our inspiration, because we know that the cost and the effort is worth it. So we thank you for your love offering donation and for being part of this heartfelt work, for we know that this community is a blessing to many, and that the financial abundance is flowing your way and is flowing our way. If you would like to support us with a financial donation, you can send an e-transfer to donate@unityofcalgary.org. You can also donate on our website at unityofcalgary.org. There's a donate button there. And if you like the old-fashioned way, we are receiving mail. So our new address is where we're receiving our mail. You can go to the website, and our physical mailing address is there. And you can mail us a check if you like to do it old school. That's good too. So as we sit and think about the flow of life, I invite you to think about that as we listen to Anthony's song, Give with an Open Heart. Take it away, Anthony.
Grateful for this moment.
right. Thank you, Anthony and the band. So let's now take a moment and I invite you to bring to your awareness anything that you are wanting to surrender into prayer. For we know that turning our concerns over to Spirit opens the way for abundant blessings to unfold. You can also now submit your prayer requests to our website at unityofcalgary.org. And your request is sent to our prayer team and to Silent Unity for 30 days of prayer. And always remember that you can also access 24/7 prayer support by using the Silent Unity prayer line, which is 1-800-PRAY-NOW. In addition to all the prayers that are on your heart that you are surrendering in this moment, this week, this time, we also hold in love the other Unity communities across Canada and across and around the world who are bringing this message of spiritual awakening and love. And in particular, this month, we are focusing our attention and our love on Unity of Vancouver and Unity of London, Ontario. So please join me in affirming the prayer of protection out loud together. The light that is God surrounds me. I am one with the light. The love that is God enfolds me. I am one with the love. The power that is God protects me. I am one with the power. The presence that is God watches over me. I am one with the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Amen. And I just realized that I forgot to do the blessing for the children, which is probably why that took a while to come up. And I think we know it up by heart. So Tina, you don't have to worry about putting it up. The blessing for the children. There we go. We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. It's always good to do things. Anyway, let's go. All right. So I imagine that you've been sitting for a while, as I have. I invite you, as Anthony and the band sings this next song, to get up and sing and dance and move your body and begin to bring up your energy. Here he is. Here they are. Thank you so much, Anthony and the band.
Have my reasons to be sad, my reasons to be sore. All the reasons that I have don't serve me anymore. 'Cause I can see how everything is a part of everything. And I can see how everything is a part of everything. I am grateful, grateful, grateful,
All right. Wow. Grateful, grateful, grateful for it all. Definitely that is true for me. So as we finish our gathering here this morning, we're going to send a wave of peace out into the world. And I invite you to, as we're singing this, imagine that it is reaching all those who are suffering, all those who are in fear, all those who are in pain, that they might open their hearts and realize that all is well, all is in divine order, and that we can make a different choice in every single moment. So let's together sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." Blessings to you, and I will see you in a little while in the Zoom room.